Guys ready?
Whenever you are.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Disney with the Ducks. Tonight, you've got me, Jodie B, and I have a fellow duck joining us and a special guest tonight. So why don't you guys introduce yourself and say hello?
Hey, everybody. You guys all know how much I love trip reports, so I had to make sure, even through pneumonia, fighting through to be a part of this one. So
We appreciate the effort there, Jeff. We're happy you're with us, and we can't wait to hear all about your trip report. But it's a special trip. It's not a Walt Disney World trip. We'll talk about that in a second. And Kim, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited you're here, and I can't wait to hear all about this for so many different reasons. So you all had a rather fantastic Thanksgiving while the rest of us were gobbling down turkey in the comfort of our own homes. You and your family were doing what?
we took a 7-night treasure trip out of Port Canaveral.
Disney Cruise Line for the win. Then you have no dishes to do the whole time.
Right, all week.
Right?
Nobody wants me cooking, so that was a win for everybody.
All right, so why don't we talk about it? So your sailing was the 22nd through the 29th of November. So it was a Saturday to Saturday sail. And the treasure leaves out of Port Canaveral, correct?
Yeah.
Because now you have to pay attention to these things because there's so many ships there, like out of Fort Lauderdale and Port Canaveral and
Miami, Galveston.
and California and Vancouver. So you actually have to pay attention to where it's coming from. Okay, so please tell me that you did the smart thing and you did not arrive the day your ship was sailing.
We did arrive the day our ship was sailing.
Some of us did.
Right.
Okay.
Kim's mom and daughter flew down Friday night and stayed at Old Key West. And then the rest of us left after school on Friday and drove straight through the night and picked them up at Old Key West about 7 in the morning or so.
Yeah.
But we rolled in right at 7 as they were getting up. We loaded up and all set.
Okay, but you drove, so you weren't. There was no airline issue. There was no like possible canceled flight situation. Okay, so
Correct.
Right.
So you
And they left before they flew before we left. So if anything had gone really wrong, we would have just had plan B and put them in the car with us. So
okay. All right. So technically you kind of broke you left the day before.
yes.
It just took us 16 hours to get there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll allow it, but normal rule of thumb is you want to arrive at least the night before sailing, especially if you're flying, because you don't want to get left on the land, which they will do. If you're not there, they will set sail without you. So what made you choose this sailing in this ship?
We went last Thanksgiving. I did with my 3 kids, and we were on the Fantasy for the week-long cruise, and they had a great time. It was they came off of it saying it was like their best vacation ever. And the boys, they're now 14 and 16, made a group of really great friends. It was almost like camp for them for the week, and which they stayed friends through the course of the year. And a significant number of them came back onto this ship and this sailing again for Thanksgiving. So, I mean, we were in line to get on the ship, and they were already off to the races with meeting up with their friends and reuniting. And so that was probably the primary driver of why we did it again and booked it so quickly. But it really was like a great way to spend Thanksgiving. So
isn't that amazing how quickly they become friends and on sailings, and how they keep that friendship up? It's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah,
I love it.
One of them went to go see my son play lacrosse in Detroit because he lives in Detroit, and so when we had a lacrosse game there, he went to go see him. And then there's 2 of them that live in Florida that we ran into at some Disney trips multiple times. So and they it was a pretty tight group, so it was cool.
That's amazing. So Kim, how many Disney cruise sailings have you done?
This was our 7th.
You're 7th. So you are gold.
Yes.
You're like me, hanging out at gold. I'm trying to get there. Trying to get there. All right. So you're 7th sailing. So what other ships have you been on?
Our first ship was the Fantasy. We did that twice, and then we did the Wish a few times, and then back to the Fantasy, and then now the Treasure. This was our first sailing on the Treasure.
And the Treasure is now a year and a half old. Do you guys know?
I think its
Just
inaugural
over
sailing was last Thanksgiving. Like I think it was pulling into port when we were leaving to go out on the Fantasy. So I think it's just about a year.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So it's still sparkly and new.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I am going to just throw this out right away. Out of the Fantasy, the Wish, and the Treasure thus far, because you have the classic ships to go, you have the Dream, and now you have the new Destiny. What has been your favorite so far? Ship, not necessarily sailing, but if you're just talking ship.
It's a really hard question because I feel like it depends on the criteria. My kids would say the Fantasy. They absolutely like rank that number one. I would say that's probably my favorite too, although I think the Wish is really beautiful. I think it's probably the prettiest ship. But then the Treasure was, the Treasure was very fun in the sense that I love the Haunted Mansion bar. I wish there are elements of all of them. I wish I could combine all into one and I could say that's my super ship, but I don't know. They're all great. I wouldn't say, oh, I wouldn't do this one or that one again. I loved them all.
The Fantasy is my favorite also. It was also my first ship that I sailed on. And I do think that there's some bias to that. Like your very ship that you're on is the one that you love the most. But I still love the Fantasy. So
I think there's probably something to that too.
Yeah. Okay. So you it was a week-long sailing, which week-long, if you're going to go do a sailing, that's the best one to do. I mean, sometimes it doesn't fit in timeline or budget or things like that. But I think 7 nights are awesome because you get enough time on the ship that you actually figure out which way is, where are you? Where are you going? Because it can be a little overwhelming. But you also really get to know like your people in the crew and your servers and see all the shows. And I like all the other like random acts that they have, the comedians and all that good stuff too. I always think that they're quite entertaining. So that's why I personally love the 7-night sailings. I just think that they're the best out of all of them. So Jeff, you haven't been on a Disney Cruise Line ship for quite some time.
11 years.
11? Okay. So what was your first impression getting on the Treasure?
We did the Disney Dream with my family about 11 years ago. It was a 3-night though. So it was it's like you said, you're barely unpacked before the suitcase tags are back in your room.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of learning the ship. It was very nice. It was very busy for the 3 days, just trying to pack things in. The Treasure, again, recency bias, was a much more beautiful ship to me though. Even with some of the layout designs, everything, I think the ship itself is fantastic. And again, being there a whole week allows you to unpack, settle in, get comfortable in the staterooms, and get to know your staff and everything better.
Right. I think 7 nights are awesome. So was this Eastern or Western Caribbean?
Eastern.
Okay. So what were your ports of call?
We had St. Thomas, Tortola, and Keswick.
Okay. Awesome. So not the new island.
No.
Yet. Kim, have you been to that one yet?
No. I literally have done the Eastern Caribbean with these ports every time, just because it's the only itinerary that's available over Thanksgiving, and that's when we've gone. So the one time we couldn't go to Tortola because it was right after the hurricanes, and so they had to move us. No, we were supposed to go we skipped Tortola and went to St. Martin, but otherwise it's been the exact itinerary. And then the Wish was back and forth to Nassau because that's all it did at that time. So
that's so funny because I have some friends who are really crazy about the ports of call. Like they're very important to them where they go and to me, I'm like, I could care less about the ports of call. I just want to be on the ship and go, doesn't matter to me at all. So it's just interesting that this is the one that you've repeated so much.
It doesn't matter. I mean, my kids were asking not to get off the ship at all. Like they didn't. I mean, when we went to the beach in Tortola, they were like, "Do we have to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Do you have to go? Yes, I'm forcing you to go to the beach. I'm the terrible parent forcing go do that.
Right.
All right. So first day on the ship, a little overwhelming. You know, you're kind of trying to figure out your way around and go have brunch or lunch, and you know your stateroom's not open until a little bit in the afternoon. So what did you do that very first day? How did you? What time was your port of call?
Well, we got on the ship, I think, right around 12, right around
noon.
noon. Yeah, right around noon. So we were in boarding group 5. And yeah, because I mean, I think they told us to get in line at like 11:30, right? So if you get there early, you can't get on until they give you your boarding time. So there's not a lot of advantage in just getting there to sit around. But anyway, when we got on the ship, my mom was with us, and that was her first time on a cruise. And so, the kids wanted to show grandma, the lay of the land. So that was kind of cool. And they just kind of took her on the ship. So we did that for a bit and then ate.
There's a theme there. There's a lot of eating.
I think
you got to get your money's worth.
Yeah, and I mean, for us, the food that's on the pool deck on the Treasure, it was really good. I mean, everyone in our whole group loved it, and so that runs from like 10 o'clock until 6 o'clock every day. So it was basically the equivalent of Chipotle. It's like Donald Duck's Cantina or something like that. Right. And then there was like a smokehouse which had brisket and pulled pork and ribs all day long, and they were delicious. And then your grill stuff, and pizza. So the kids absolutely. I mean, we all. I guess I shouldn't even just say the kids. We all loved that food, and so that was an easy thing to do when we got on the ship.
Right. It was all right there, ready to go.
Yeah, because I think the buffet was already done by the time.
No, it wasn't open yet. We were on before the buffet opened.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, I think that addition to the cantina is such a smart move. I mean, it's like the Chipotle setting sail.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that on the Wish, that's for certain. So, okay, so what type of stateroom did you have? Did you have interior, exterior, balcony? What did you have?
We were split up between a balcony and then an interior right across the hall from it.
Oh, nice.
Because there were 6 of us, so we had to kind of jockey rooms a little bit. So
the balcony one was like a deluxe family one, so it slept up to 5.
Okay.
It had the pull-down bed from the wall, like the Murphy bed, and then the couch converted into a bed, and then they had the bed that came out of the ceiling. So those were 3 singles, and then the main bed.
So I found on the Wish the storage to be a little lacking compared to the traditional ships. Is that the same way on the Treasure? Did you find drawers and things to be?
The thing that the Treasure had that we didn't have, I had the same stateroom, the Wish, but the thing that the Treasure had is next to our Murphy bed, it had this like cabinet of cubbies, which was really nice. I mean, it was not wide. It was probably only 15 inches wide, but it was enough that it was extra shelves for 1 or 2 kids to unpack and put some extra things. And then the closets were about the same, I would say, the 3 banks of doors across from the bathrooms, and then the pull-out drawer for the refrigerator, and then kind of 3 utility drawers with the vanity. So nice. I think overall the shelves, and they also had that sort of corner shelf right by the beds. For as many for all of us, 2 of my kids don't unpack; they just live out of their suitcase. And then everything else was unpacked, and there was space for everything.
Got it. So, question. So the balcony stateroom, the deluxe family stateroom, has the split bathrooms. Do the interior rooms have split bathrooms?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to. I have not seen one on the new ship, so I was just curious about that.
Yeah, they're tight. The interior rooms are tight. One of the sailings on the Wish, the 4 of us stayed in an interior stateroom because it was a last minute trip, and it was a good thing it was a short trip. So the 4 of us were like on top of each other. So I don't know that I would be rushing to do that again. But otherwise it worked out great.
What was your theme of your room? So all the different rooms on the ships have different themes, like the Wish as a lot of the princesses. What was the theme for yours? Did you have?
She had a Aladdin above the pool, wasn't it?
Yeah, Aladdin was in the the bed that comes down from the ceiling. I don't know if there's a name for those beds, but the stars spelled out a scene from Aladdin. I think it might have been Aladdin behind the bed too. It wasn't overly.
I never paid attention to it.
Because I asked Allie at one point what was behind the bed. It might have been Aladdin. I mean, the Aladdin was a significant theme throughout the entire ship. Like the main hall, the color scheme, the palette, I think it was all very heavily, the wallpaper on many of the elevators. So was it either that or Tiana? I don't know.
It was Aladdin.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it's a venture. So I don't think it was maybe it was a princess. I don't know. So anyway, okay, well, awesome. All right. So anyway, first day, you go and you eat, you get to your stateroom. What did you do after that?
We got our staterooms right at 1:30. They were open up.
Yeah.
Some of the luggage was there, some wasn't. We got changed because we had a champagne tasting right off the bat there. So that's where
that's the way to start off a cruise, right?
Right.
Yes.
Goodbye, kids.
Yeah.
We're going.
So that was like a Nightingale and the other ship. So where was that in Treasure?
It's called
Scat Cats.
Yeah, Scat Cats.
Cats. Okay. Awesome. And
It's a very different vibe than Nightingale. Notwithstanding the fact that it's the same location on the ship. Like Nightingale's is kind of beautiful and pretty and elegant, and Scat Cats is more like jazzy and loungy.
And I'm assuming it was a great presentation, good, good champagne, all that good stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about champagnes, things I never knew. I learned so much during that tasting.
I'm proud of you, Jeff. And those are typically about an hour long. So they're not just for people who have never done one before. They take about an hour, sometimes a little shorter. So it's not like you're there for hours on end and that you're missing half the day. Like you are, and that's something that you do have to sign up for before you're sailing. Sometimes they do have openings. You can go and ask if there are openings for any of the tastings when you get on board, but a lot of times they're sold out and you have to book those before you sail. So.
Yeah, that was the case with our other tasting. It was sold out, and I mean, Jeff was on it, of course, right when it opened up, and it had filled up with just I guess like it would have been like the platinum and pearl
concierge
people, yeah, concierge people. So, but we ended up getting in by
join a walk-up wait list type thing.
Yeah,
or not the walk-up, but the guest services wait list.
Yeah,
that's great. Okay, so you have rotational dining on Disney Cruise Line. And the great thing is that your servers follow you from each dining room to the next. So what was your first night dining?
We were in the Marvel dining room the first night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Marvel. Okay. And is it the same as the Wish? Is it the same Ant-Man and Wasp?
Yes. It's different, slightly different programming, but it is the same theme.
Okay.
And the dining room feels very familiar. So it's,
How was that? How was your first night dinner?
We were exhausted coming in driving all day. We were pretty whooped by the time we had second dining. So we were kind of running them empty by the time we got to that.
And second dining is at 8:15?
Yes.
So did you have a show before then?
Did we what?
The show before then. The sail away party was that?
Oh yeah, it was a sail away party. There was not a show the first night.
Okay.
It was just a sail away party.
Yeah. And then pictures. They had pictures, and then the dining. So
nice.
But it was good. I think the food. Every night, the food was really good.
Yeah, we never had any problem with the dining.
Good.
My daughter does not like cocoa. Passed away, and so I know, like it's like a grief thing. But anyway, so I had to call the travel agent ahead of time about like, can you put in a request to not have cocoa the first night, because I figured then we would have cocoa three nights, or three of the, that would be the one we would get 3 times. So we at least didn't have that, but we ended up. They normally it goes 1 2 3 1 2 3 1, and they switched it up on us in a weird way. So we had cocoa was back to back
nights.
Yeah.
We had cocoa because our Thanksgiving they put us in cocoa twice back.
Yeah, they kind of rescheduled things with Thanksgiving, but it ended up working out fine. But
That's interesting you said that because I've had a lot of back-to-backs. I've never had them just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Mine have been like back-to-back. Who knows? I don't know how they figure it all out. I'm glad it's not my job. So
yeah, I just look at the app and like, where are we tonight?
Where's dinner?
Yeah.
It used to be printed on your key to the world card. That's how you'd have to look down like, oh, where am I going to dinner tonight? It was printed. Times have changed. Okay, so assuming you got well rested that night, and then on Sunday, right? This is Sunday is your first. Is this
Saturday? We just went to bed early and we were out. The kids all ended up sleeping across the hall, but
I'm sure. So Sunday was this an at sea day?
Yes. Sunday
Okay.
was an at sea day.
That's awesome. I think setting sail and having an at sea day right away is a great way because it just gives you time to figure out the ship and figure out where everything is and get acclimated. I don't like when you go to a port of call right away. It's not my fave. So, all right. So you had the whole day to explore. What did you do on Sunday?
You started off with a massage right off the bat.
Yeah, with my mom.
Brilliant.
So it was a great way to kick off the week. And the spa there is really nice. I can't remember if I did a massage on the Wish, but I did one last Thanksgiving on the Fantasy. And in the Fantasy, they let you take advantage of the rainforest and things like that. But on this ship, it was like massage and see ya. Yeah. So you couldn't go and use. There was a steam room in the locker room that you could use, but otherwise you couldn't use any of the other amenities, which I was expecting. I didn't realize that there was a difference there. So I was telling my mom, like, oh, they have these like stone chairs. It's going to be lovely. And they were like, oh, no, you have to pay for the rainforest package to go in that space. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that stinks. Well, it's interesting that they're different rules on ships. But anyway, well, I've never done any of the spa treatments anywhere on any of the ships. So that sounds like it was a good way to start off your sailing, though.
Right.
Yeah. I highly recommend it.
Okay. So what else did you get to do that day?
A lot of it was just relaxing around the pool, doing random trivia, character meet and greets that were out and about. Just kind of going through the Navigator app to figure out what we wanted to do today and go through. So
there's so much to do. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I don't know. I want to be here and I want to go there and I want to see this and I want to do that. Like it's almost, you think, oh, I've got 7 days. I can, but you can't do it all. So any highlights from that day? Anything in particular that you did that you really enjoyed?
That just was very calm and relaxing. We did see the show that night. That was a Seize the Adventure.
Yeah, so that was the one with, they bring in all the Disney characters for that one. And it was really well done and fun.
Yep.
And the pictures, of course. And
where did you dine that night?
That night was Coco.
Oh, it was Coco. Okay.
Yep.
And was that the actual Mexican themed meal?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that?
It was great. I think all the main dining room, there's a lot of variety of options. It was all good. So.
Yeah. I mean, the show part of it, I didn't pay that much attention to, but I had where our table was pretty far away from the stage, and I was
to our back.
Yeah, and that was it was to our back, so you'd have to kind of turn and pay attention to it if you wanted to. I mean, I could see it, but we were just talking and laughing, and I think, and the show was kind of more background. Whereas on the Wish, my daughter's a Frozen freak, and so. We got seated right next to the stage, and it was very much a focal point. So that was a little different.
That's great. I think it's always interesting where your seats are and how much you can see the show or not, because sometimes you feel like you're really a part of it, and then sometimes you're like, oh man, that's kind of far away.
It was kind of happening in the background more than like where we were seated on the Wish. Like on the Wish, I was like, our seats were much closer to the stage, and it was hard to avoid if you wanted to. I mean, but it worked out. It was the one time I could see my kids because they were off to the races for the rest of the day. So during dinner, I just wanted to talk to them. Like, what did you do today?
That's the nice thing about dinner is that you actually get to catch up with your family. Like, how did you spend your day? Because I haven't seen you all day.
Right.
And just again, for those of you who haven't sailed or maybe don't know a lot about DCL, if your kid has, so what we did, like even before our kids had iPhones, we brought old iPhones with us and just loaded the Disney Cruise Line app so they could communicate with us the whole time. Because once you're on the ship and you're in that app, you can talk to each other and say like, hey, I'm going to this thing, or I'm going to this trivia, or I'm going to this art, coloring thing, or whatever it may be. So it's just, your kids are busy and doing their own thing, but you can keep tabs on them. But it's always come together at dinner is the way that we always had it too. Like everybody has to be at dinner. So
mandatory.
Yeah. I need to see that. I need to see you. I need to see your face and know that you're alive. So your kids were off doing their own thing, having a blast.
Yeah.
Did they go to the clubs at all?
So the boys are 14 and 16, and they were very much at Vibe the whole time. But and it included the kids who were from the Fantasy last cruise. So I think there was 10 total kids who were back, and I think they formed a pretty tight-knit group out of the gates. And then I think there were some kids who added to the mix over the course of the cruise, but I know that they were in Vibe a bunch because they knew the counselors and would talk about the counselors, but they liked the Fantasy Vibe much better because on the Fantasy, the Vibe Club has its own pool, and it's kind of in a more well, they describe it as a cooler spot, like at the bow of the ship, and in this one up by the sports deck, they just didn't like as well. They weren't complaining, but I think they wanted to find their own cool space, and the Vibe counselors I think figured it out fairly quickly because they just kind of moved with them wherever they congregated. So it worked for them.
Yeah, I don't understand why they took the pool away. It's such a great feature on the Fantasy. I don't understand that. But again, they didn't ask me before they built these ships. Right. What about your daughter? Did she go to the clubs or?
No, she was like joined at our hips the entire cruise, which was great. So she I think because the boys had at most of the cruises, the boys were the ones who would go off and do the fun things. Yeah. And prior to this cruise, it was just me with the kids, and so I think she felt like, oh, I'll stay with you, Mom, and keep you company so you're not all by yourself on this family vacation. So we kind of got into a routine of that, and it just continued with this.
But there's so much fun things to do together. It's not like if they,
people
are always like, well, what if your kids don't like the kids club? I'm like, there's tons of stuff to do all together. Like they don't have to go to the kids club to have fun. There's plenty of things to do with you or swimming or all sorts of things. So how was your weather, by the way? I forgot to ask. Did you guys have good weather?
It rained maybe a little bit one day, but we were inside and didn't realize until it was done. The Castaway Key Day was a little cool and overcast, but it was still great. So
yeah, I guess that day would have been, if it was a little warmer,
could have
been,
or not so overcast or windy.
Yeah, it was windy.
It was really windy that day too. So
it was one of those days where there was some concern that the ship wouldn't be able to.
I know Jeff was texting.
Yeah.
Asking about
what the wind speed would be for the cutoff, but it was fine. But it was that windy that it was sort of questionable.
Okay, so that was Sunday. So now Monday is your actual third technical day on the ship. Was this another sea day, or were you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Any highlights from that day that you want to share? Anything great that you did? Any
tasting?
That
started out with the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and Royal Gathering, so we hit that back to back right off.
Okay, I love
my last one.
Love it. So Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is something that you have to book ahead of time, just like you do at Disney World. So it's one of those, and it costs extra money. However, the Royal Gathering, this is a little bit bizarre. Anybody can sign up for it and it doesn't cost money, but you do have to reserve a spot. And why don't you talk about what the Royal Gathering is for those people who don't know?
They march out all the princesses and have them kind of lined up in front of the stage. And then you go from one to the next to get one-on-one time with the princesses, which worked out really well following up with the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Yeah, that's great.
The one thing I'll say about the Royal Gathering too is If it's your first time doing it, and let's say, I think they give them the time slots in 15-minute increments, but you should find out when it starts, because you might want to be there for the start, even if your time slot isn't for 15 or minutes or half hour into it, because the way that they kind of announce the princesses at the very beginning, they come from sort of all corners of the main hall, and they do a little narration before each. Yeah. And then, everybody like welcomes them to the royal gathering. It's a bit of a show. So, it's nice. It's like one of those niceties that you could catch if you wanted to.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know they did that. That's really fun. I like that. So which princesses did you have? Because they do rotate.
There's Jasmine. There was Tiana.
There was Belle in her Christmas outfit and Rapunzel. Yeah.
That's really neat to see Belle in her Christmas outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Was this a maritime sailing?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a maritime.
Oh, somehow I missed that. I don't know why or how I didn't know that. So, okay. I love the maritime sailing. I did one out of Galveston post-COVID when we were still wearing masks, walking up and down the hallways. And our weather was terrible, but I did like everything about like the very merriness of the ship and all that stuff. So did they do anything special on the ship that to make it feel Christmassy?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm completely hooked on the maritime cruises because I feel like it encapsulates Christmas perfectly. The ships are beautifully decorated. The characters are in their Christmas clothes, outfits, and multiple varieties throughout the course of the week. They have a meet and greet with Santa, story time with Mrs. Claus. She reads The Night Before Christmas. You can have like a little dance party with Santa and Mrs. Claus and the characters one night. Like the whole thing. There's like a Christmas party. So
that was that night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was that night. There's sort of this unspoken, unwritten schedule that even, one of the nights everybody shows up in their Christmas pajamas to dinner and the whole night, which you would not normally do. I haven't seen on other cruises where it's like pajama night, but like there's clearly a, Christmas pajama night, for one of the nights. So it's fun.
So Kim, did you join the Facebook group for the cruise, your actual sailing before Jeff did?
Okay. I was in the Facebook group, but we weren't into like all the extension groups with like the fish extenders and all that.
I don't personally. Fish extenders are not for me. I know some people love them, but I not part. But I do think sometimes that helps you figure out what night is what, and it's like that are a little bit harder to find out from Disney. People who've scouted like the week before or whatever, they're going to give you some clues. So. That's great.
Yeah, Jeff found the schedule. I mean, I knew it would be one of the nights, so I knew to buy and pack for it, but I didn't have like which was which. And Jeff found that on one of the groups. Yeah. So
that's another tip. If you haven't sailed DCL before, definitely search up your cruise group on Facebook. Even if you don't like Facebook, it is a very helpful thing to help you, kind of navigate your sailing and find out some cool things. And you never know, you may meet some friends along the way too. So, okay. All right. So I know we're jumping around all over the place. I'm sorry. I somehow, the fact that it was a very merry, just, I took that left turn because I was all excited to hear about that. Okay. So,
maritime actually, I think makes it easier to pack for too, because I ended up packing just like my Christmas clothes. And like, that's what I held around in at night. And, I didn't have to think about sort of like, what am I going to wear? Like fancy thing to dinner. And then what am I going to wear afterwards? I literally just threw in all my Disney Christmas clothes, and it was easy. So that's another benefit if you're doing that.
Did they have a formal night because it was a 7-night sailing?
Yeah, that was actually Monday night. The same day we did Bibbia Boutique. That was the holiday party and the formal night for Pictures with Santa.
Okay, so that's early. Well, maybe that's when I don't know. I can't remember on my last 7-night when the formal night was.
It felt early to me too, but it was good because it kind of got it out of the way.
Yeah, nice.
And I have adopted using the Disney cruise pictures for my Christmas photo shoot instead of like going to a professional photographer. So I'm like, I'm already paying for these pictures, so I might as well just have them. So we went like multiple rounds just to make sure I had enough for Christmas cards or whatnot. But and for the formal night, I had my kids we all wore like a Christmas formal, like what we wear on Christmas. and so those are our Christmas pictures.
That's great. And another little difference between cruise line and Disney World. The cruise line photos are not nearly as affordable as the Walt Disney World trip photos. So the price tag is a little shocking, just in case you've never done it before. So they do have an unlimited package, which when we sail 7 nights, we always get the unlimited because I feel like I'm getting my money's worth, right? Because it's the same amount of money, whether it's a 3-night or a 7-night.
Yeah.
I tend not to get it for a smaller sailing, a shorter sailing, just personally. But for 7-nighter, I always get it. And then my kids get annoyed because I'm like, let's get a picture because we're paying for it. It's included. Let's go. And then they're like, oh, another picture. So
there is a slight discount if you buy ahead of time.
Right.
And there is a discount if you forget to buy ahead of time if you're a DVC member. So, and it takes to about what the same price as the other.
And there's a discount for the spa.
Yeah, DVC gets a discount for the spa on port days. So
$20 or 20%. It was.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So another thing, if you're a DVC member, make sure that you stop by the DVC booth at the by your sale because they'll give you all sorts of great things. Some things are better than others. But I have a hat that I really like that I got from my sailing. So did you guys get anything good? Any good swag?
They had reusable straws. We had magnets, chapstick, some lithographs.
The magnets were nice because I didn't do magnets for the door, so they gave that out early in the trip, and I was like, "Oh, now I have a door magnet! Yay!" Right? The lip gloss or chapstick I used a ton.
There's something else to it. A couple lithographs. I think we might have missed one day, but if you just tell me missed the day before.
No, there was luggage tags.
Oh yeah, luggage tags.
Yeah, I don't think we missed any.
So
the day we missed, they gave us both days.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good. All right. So I forget what day we're on.
That was Monday. That was our dinner at 1923.
Okay, 1923.
We did bingo on Monday, and I think there should be a little session on bingo. My mom is the bingo player. I could skip it; it's fine. But she was like, everybody's playing bingo. She kind of demanded it. The Wish and the Treasure, they do it on the Treasure, it's in the Sarabi or what is it?
Sarabi.
Yeah, Sarabi Lounge.
So 2 floors.
Yeah, the 2-floor double decker, and it's not big enough to hold all the people who wanted to play bingo, and so you have to get there early in order to not even get a seat, but get a space with a view or be able to hear. So that's a tip to keep in mind, especially maybe on I think all the cruises are probably at capacity.
They're all pretty full.
But. Yeah, I mean, even when we were on the Wonder last summer in Alaska, there was one day that we did bingo, and you had to get there early because they sell out. So yeah.
Really, we were a half hour early, and there was no space.
Wow, that's crazy. Anybody win?
No. Well, your mom got a hat in the drawing.
She won a hat. It was a $200 hat.
Hope she wears it every day.
That's right. Make her get her money's worth.
All right. Any other fun things you want to share about that day?
We had a holiday party dinner. We picked with Santa. The Flyboys were fun. They were kind of like an a cappella mashup group where they took modern day songs that said 1920s and 30s jazz. So it's kind of a different take on current modern music, but they were fun.
Was that the show that night?
No, the show that night was actually a comedian, Jonathan Burns. He was on AGT and some of those shows. But I really enjoyed the Flyboys later that evening after that. Probably more so than comedian.
Yeah, Jonathan Burns he was not my favorite.
Did you make it to any of the adult areas? Any of the lounges where the
Flyboys were
in the Sarabi Lounge? It was one of the nights was 18 and over for them.
The Jonathan Burns had one night where there was 18 and over as well.
So we tried and hit that. The Haunted Mansion Lounge is awesome. I think it's the coolest thing on that whole show.
And I don't think it was ever 18 and over. It was always open to anybody.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. So
I don't know too much about it. I just want to know, but it's well worth it.
The bartender there is fantastic.
Yeah.
So
He
Good.
made it super fun. I'll tell you something. So Allie, my daughter, got a drink. It was like grinning grape, and the way that the lighting and stuff is in there, it looked like regular pop when she took it out of the lounge, but inside the lounge, it had ghosts swirling inside the bottle of the pop. Like it looked like the
Like
scene
you were
out of the
destined,
Haunted Mansion. Yeah.
That's
So,
so
it
cool.
was wild. I was just like, yeah, like you have ghosts in your pop.
but outside of there, it just looks like normal.
Yeah. Because we when we left, she took it with us, and I was ready to go show everybody, like, there's ghosts in her pop, and then it just looked like pop outside.
That's craziness. I love touches like that. Did you guys do the tour of the ship?
No.
No, I'm hoping that they offer that. I'm guessing they do because
Yeah, they did. There were people on a tour.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, sorry, I'm just like so excited to hear about everything. I'm jumping around like boom, boom, squirrel. All right. So, when are we on Wednesday? Tuesday. Okay. Any other highlights from Tuesday that
we're just starting? Tuesday was our first port day. We were at St. Thomas.
All right. So did you get off the ship?
We did. We went to St. John. We took the ferry to St. John.
And what did you do there?
We rented snorkel gear. We had a very secluded beach. We
took a taxi. We didn't do the Disney excursion to the same beach that the Disney excursion went to. So when we got to St. John, we just taxied.
And just as a very quiet, secluded beach. What was it? I don't remember which one. Not Keneal. Oh, Trunk Bay.
Oh yeah.
Trunk Bay Beach. They have an underwater national park where you put snorkel gear on and you can go out and snorkel. You see the fish, and there's like a trail that you follow around the coral reef and everything. That's an actual underwater national park.
But the coolest part about it is right off the beach. It's 20 yards in from the beach, and you are seeing a massive amount of really cool fish. And there's a sort of rocks right out there, and the fish are all swimming around. It's better. I think it's better snorkeling by far than what you see at Castaway Cay. And we've done some other snorkel trips on St. Thomas and in the Bahamas, and those are more sort of off of a boat. But I feel like I saw more fish and cooler, more diverse cross section of fish just right there. So It was really great, like bang for your buck in terms of not a lot of effort to see a whole lot of stuff.
And did you bring your own snorkel gear or did you rent it there?
No, we rented it there.
Okay.
It was cheap. I mean, it was what, $20 a set?
I think it was $7 for fin, $7 for snorkel, and $7 for like vest. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And there was chairs you could just roll up, and there was 3 varieties of beach chairs you could rent for $10 or $5 or $10 a piece. So we figured it out that between what it would have cost to do the Disney excursion to the same place where it included beach chair and snorkel gear, and then what we ended up paying between the taxi and just renting what we needed.
About $500.
Yeah, we saved about $500.
Okay, so I'm going to need all the detailed notes about that. Okay, because all of them, I want all the specifics on that one. I didn't see you write that down. That note. Send Jodie all this information.
You can call or text at any time, Jodie.
I need it all before July. Okay.
All right. Plenty of time.
Okay. Did you eat anywhere off the island, or did you just make sure that you had all your meals on the ship?
We had all the meals on the ship. We did not eat off on any of the islands. We had a couple of drinks on the islands.
Yeah, we just drank.
But
good. It's vacation.
That's right. The trips off island or off the ship were relatively short. Again, because it was forced family time for the boys. So it just happened to be kind of like not a full day of being out and about.
3 hours in the morning both days.
Yeah. And the one St. Thomas Port, they actually moved our excursion from, it was supposed to leave at 10:30. They moved it up to 7:30. We almost canceled because I was like, I don't want to get moving that early. But my daughter wanted to go to St. John because she's a Kenny Chesney fan. So I was like, all right, let's just do it. And we'll be back on the ship. And, kids can't even like complain because they've missed a bunch of stuff during the day. And it ended up being great.
Right.
Like leaving that early, it was hot. So being at the beach early before it got sort of midday was lovely, and it wasn't super crowded. So
right.
Well, that worked out then.
It did work out.
Yeah. Okay, so any other highlights you want to share from that day?
That was actually our chocolate and liqueur or chocolate drink tastings. I guess it wasn't liqueurs, but
So
that
I've never done this one. Tell me all about this tasting.
this was amazing. They had, I think, 4 different like food tastings, like palate cleanser things. There's like a split chocolate, which is like half milk chocolate and half white chocolate in a glass. Then I think that one had wine to drink with it.
Yeah.
And then they had chocolate, little pieces of white, dark, and milk
Like
chocolate.
bitter. Yeah,
and that came with champagne.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had.
And there was cheese with the port.
Like a Parmesan cheese with port. And the last one was
whiskey
with another liquid chocolate, with
a melted chocolate. So
with a scotch.
Oh yeah, it was scotch. But it was delicious and so nice.
And the nice thing about those tastings, they explain everything, so
Right.
like, things that I may not normally try, or, they're there telling you all about it. And then if it turns out that you like it, then maybe it's something that you could do at home.
And it really changes the flavor of the chocolate and the drinks when you pair them together. It's a big difference in how they are.
And they have, I've done the tastings on this one and on the whip and the fancy, and they're always done by, there's a small group of sommeliers on the ships, and those are usually, I think, who do the tastings, at least the ones that I've done, like this chocolate and liqueur tasting and the wine tasting, and the champagne. So it's been this chocolate and liqueur one was done by the head sommelier, and then the other champagne one was
The guy
one of the
Enchante.
Yeah, he was the guy who ran Enchante. So.
I forgot I was going to ask this earlier. Did you do any of the adult only dining?
No. And actually, it wasn't until the last day that we found that lounge even. So we're a little disappointed with that because it was really nice.
It's beautiful. We because the plan was never to try and do a meal away from the kids, because that was the only time that we saw them. And so, but the last day we did go up. There's an 18 and over lounge called the Rose, and it is stunningly beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very nice up there. They have that on the Wish too. Yeah, for some reason I didn't spend much time up there either, which is bizarre because that's totally my style, something that I'd like to do. But anyway, okay. So then tell me what you did. Was the next day another sea day, or were you at another port?
The end of Tuesday was pirate night, so they did the fireworks at sea and all that. So that was the end of that one. The next night,
I'm so excited, Jeff. Like, oh yeah,
I was just trying to see what's next on my list.
Just those little fireworks at sea.
I took notes, Jody. I have day-by-day notes of all this.
Okay, give me your notes. I want to hear. Tell me all the things.
We did a chocolate tasting. We did a pirate night. Dinner was at Marvel. They had Mickey pirate picks that was almost empty right there that we walked kind of right into. And like it looked like he was getting ready to wrap up, and we walked in. It was empty.
Yeah, it was fun.
We did fireworks at sea, and that night we actually ordered cookies and milk and had them in the bedroom for a snack right before we went to bed. So,
yeah, I always, in theory, love that, but I don't think the cookie's very good. Like I'm
dipping in the feel good, or if you're really tired.
Yeah, I always want to like it so much. I'm always like, yeah, this doesn't do a lot for me. I think my expectations are too high, but
I apparently have deprived my kids of that experience because
you are just such a let me
his cookie and milk, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Cookies and milk. This is what you do." And they're like, "I've never seen that before." So
the 14-year-old have never done cookies and milk prior to their cruise.
Well, he's now 15 by one day. He probably has not done that either, but he doesn't like milk, so that's he wouldn't do that if you paid him probably. So there we go. Okay. Tell me more.
That's the end of Tuesday. Wednesday was another port day. That was Tortola. We didn't have anything scheduled. We just caught a random taxi when we got off the boat, and we went to King Garden Bay Beach. It's a little bit more touristy than
It's a lot more touristy
than St. John, so it's a little bit busier. They had like inflatables and jet skis and banana boats and several bars and t-shirt shops, and it'd be more of what you would anticipate or think to be for a busy Caribbean beach.
Got it.
I was strongly pushing to go to Longbow Bay Beach, which is where I've gone in the past, and it's very serene and quiet and low key and not super touristy. But I got overruled. So to the busy beach we went.
We were there for what, about 2 hours?
Maybe a little longer. Yeah.
Right in that ballpark.
Yeah. But again, the taxi was super great. Nothing was planned. We got off. We took the taxi. The taxi was like, "I'll pick you up." And so the taxi driver who dropped us off we'd made arrangements for him to pick us back up at a designated time, and then the round trip fare was all included both ways, and it was easy.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like that, like just take a taxi someplace and just go to the beach. But it sounds like a good idea.
It depends on where we are. If it's an area that I'm comfortable with or that I'm kind of more familiar with, I'd be more apt to do it than some other ports that maybe I don't feel quite as comfortable in being alone.
Yeah, I get it.
The other thing I would say on Tortola is a beach that I've wanted to go to for a while is the Smugglers Bay Beach. And that's out like toward that Longbow Bay or Long Bay Beach. And it has an unpaved road that you have to take to get there. So they recommend like a 4-wheel drive. And so if that's a beach that you want to do, I would recommend
searching ahead for options of how to get there.
or doing an excursion that includes the proper vehicle to get there. Because if you get off the ship and you say, like I did last year, and say, I want to go to the Smugglers Bay Beach, it looks really awesome. They're like, the taxi drivers were like, no. So how about we take you to this one instead?
I didn't know that, but
yeah.
But good to know. I need to remember that again for July.
Yeah. So I mean, if you read about it, I think they're both pretty similar. So I don't think we lost a lot by not getting all the way to Smugglers Bay. I think that Longbow Bay is similar, but yeah.
Cool.
If it's something that's on your radar, then you should make sure you plan accordingly for transportation.
Made notation.
So, yep. At the beach, we did a banana boat ride with the 5 of us. Mm-hmm. So that was fun.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So we had a good time with that. And then we just a little bit of shopping at the port and got back on the boat.
Yeah.
The Tortola shopping port area was destroyed by a hurricane not long ago. So it's all been rebuilt, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
So. And
because we had to get to Castaway Key, it was a short day in port. Like I think we had to be back on the ship at
like 2.
Yeah, like 2:45 or something.
Oh, that is short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a ton of time to shop, which probably made vacation less expensive.
All right. So that night you went back rotational dining again?
Yeah, we were early ship. That night, actually, we did a couples massage. So we did that in the same room. That was my first massage. It was nice. Very relaxing. Yes.
You know who hates massages? Timmy B.
Yeah. Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, hates them. That's he's like, nope, never doing that again. I'm like, okay. Well,
at least you tried it.
Yeah.
That was sure how you were gonna like it.
Yeah,
you weren't sure how you were gonna like it.
No, but it was very relaxing.
Yeah.
I might have drifted off at one point.
Hey, if that means that they did their job. You got nice and relaxed.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did that night. That was our Buffalo night. We were all dressed up in Buffalo Bills outfits. So all for that. That was dinner at Coco.
Sorry, but I thought you were like talking about like buffalo plaid because it was Christmas. I was thinking like the red and black plaid color. And I was like, oh, okay, great. And then when you're like, no, Buffalo, but I'm like, oh, Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Go Bills.
That was our second actual Coco dinner.
Yeah.
So
was this just like normal food then?
It still had a Mexican flair to it,
but
it was a different menu.
Yeah, it was a different menu and a different show. Like the show sort of was a part 1, part 2, if you will. So the Remember Me song was played on the second night of that. It was good. I mean, the food was really good in there.
Right. Yep.
So.
And then we called an early night that night. We had a lot of early nights, but up in the mornings early, getting going.
You were always up early. You were texting me very early, and I was like, "Why are you up?"
Yeah, we went to bed earlier. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we wanted to do seemed to go early. We were just naturally waking up earlier anyway.
Yeah, and Allie was not into the kids clubs and stuff, so it wasn't like we were gonna just kind of ditch her and then be like, oh, we're gonna go to the club now. So, but we did. I mean, the one night we did family karaoke because they had that pretty much every night, like 10:30 to midnight. Or we would try to wander around a little bit and see if we could see the boys or make sure they weren't causing trouble.
Sure, they were perfectly well behaved.
That's right. Yes, we got no reports. So
right, only one phone call. Making sure missing a kid on the boat, but
oh yeah, because we left Alex on Castaway Key on purpose. But they called to say, "Is he on the ship yet?" We're like, nope.
Oh, well, that's fun.
It was that time. I mean, he was
still early.
Yeah, and we had the balcony, so I was actually in the room, and I was like, I can see him walking up now. So he should be on the ship any minute, but
we think it was the rest of our room had already checked in, but he did not.
Got
So
it.
he's making sure something wasn't missed whenever they checked in.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Well, they're on top of it. That's great.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
That was Wednesday. Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Correct. Yeah. And we woke up to Mickey Churro waffles.
I mean, that's the best Thanksgiving start ever.
Right?
If it's a whole day about
right.
Okay. Jeff, was this your first Mickey Churro waffle?
They were my first Mickey Churro. They're my first 3 Mickey Churro waffles.
What did you think?
They're wonderful.
Have Lonnie and I hyped it up?
You have properly hyped it. It was
Okay.
not overhyped.
Okay. Yeah. I really don't even like a lot of sweet things for breakfast. I tend to like savory breakfast better, but man, those things every time I got to get them.
Well, that's why we got up so early because Jeff was like, I'm going to probably want 2 rounds of this. So
like Hobbit
put a little bit of time between the
first
two.
breakfast, second breakfast, and then
That's so smart. I have never thought of that before, but that's a good reason to get up early. I like it. Smart man. So I do have a question. Marceline Market is kind of like the cabanas of the fantasy. I always found it very crowded when we were on the Wish. Now we were only on the Wish for, I think it was a 4-night sailing, but it never felt like there was enough seating, and it just always felt quite chaotic to me. How was your experience at Marceline?
The only time we ever had an issue was like right at closing from breakfast when people were kind of scrambling for last minute foods.
Well, I think that was also because the time changed, like the time moved forward, and the ship decided to move the time forward, and they did a good job of telling people the night before, like, hey, there's a time change, but I just assumed it was going to be on my phone.
We were actually going to hit the time change at that point.
Yeah, and so when I was looking at my phone, I assumed the time on my phone was the right new time, and it wasn't. It was, you had to manually change the time because the ship just decided, hey, like it's gonna happen at some point during the day, and we're just gonna all be on the same schedule. So I think a lot of people got caught in that, and all of a sudden they thought it was 9 o'clock and it was really 10 o'clock, and breakfast was, a shorter window than what they were anticipating. So there was like a mad rush, or they were just sleeping longer. But I think it was the day where it was a little bit chaotic. But I agree with you, Jody. I think on the Wish, there was times where I had to kind of wait and look around and say, where am I going to sit? And for whatever reason, we didn't have that experience on the Treasure. I mean, other than even that day, we found a seat. And there were a couple days where the outside seating in the very back of the boat for Marceline Market was closed, and I'm not quite sure why. And even those days where those tables were not available, we could still find seats. So.
And do they have the like I call them the Cove Cafe Plus, like the little coffee shops?
Yeah.
Out to. Yeah, that's one big improvement that they've made from the classic ships. I think probably what has happened in the last 20 years, the love and passion of gourmet coffees have also gone through the roof. But the fact that they have various coffee little shops throughout the ship now is really smart.
Yeah.
Did you make it back to the adults pool at all?
We did that day actually. That was our relaxing day. We went through the night before. We had everything carded that we wanted to do on our last day at sea, and because
it was Thanksgiving, they threw everything on the agenda. I mean, it was a day full of fun things, and it was like heart. I want to do this. I want to do this. So we had, I don't know, I feel like going into that day, we had like 30 things that we wanted to do. And at some point I said, I haven't sat down yet. And I haven't stopped. So like, I think I'm going to skip all of it and just have a day.
And just lay the pool.
Yeah. So we went up we spent the day at the Chippendale pool up on the 14th deck in the front where it's just calm and peaceful. And I love it up there. So we were there for a good chunk of the day, and then we kind of got rid of all the kids at some point.
We went back to the infinity pool.
Yeah, then we went back to the infinity pool in the adult section and stuff. So,
It's tiny though.
The infinity pool is not huge. The one hot tub they have is very small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked at how small it was.
Yeah, it wasn't crowded when we were there, so it didn't matter that it was. But when I was on the Wish, it was a lot more crowded then. So people were kind of like waiting and like, I don't know if I want to get in there with all those people. And it was sort of like one out, one in. But it wasn't like that when we went.
Got it.
Awesome. And they had Funnel Vision. They had the football games for.
For Thanksgiving. Oh, that's
yeah.
really
They had all the games playing on Funnel Vision throughout the day.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
For those people who like football on Thanksgiving, which.
Yeah.
I mean, I get sometimes some people are like, sports, but yeah, I mean, I think that's great.
Right.
Good for them. That's super fun. Okay, so did you go on the what is the name of it on the treasure? The Aqua
Mouse.
Aqua Mouse. It's the same as on the Wish.
Did you ever go on it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And what did you think?
It was cute. It was a cute little water slide. So
I think it's fun. I mean, the kids take me on it. I'm like, all right, now you.
I think it's fine. I think they could have. I don't know. I think it could have been a little more exciting than what it is, but it's fine. It's something to do. So, okay. So Thanksgiving, here's the big question. Did you have an offering of choosing a Thanksgiving turkey dinner for dinner at night? Okay. Here's the next question. Was it any good?
I got prime rib.
You got prime rib. Okay. Well, how was your prime rib?
I thought it was really good.
Okay. Good. Was it like traditional, like turkey dressing,
cranberry sauce? Yep.
Sweet potatoes.
Yeah, sweet potato kind of puree thing, and stuffing was delicious. I thought the whole thing was good. I mean, the other options on the menu, any other night, I would have gotten one of those, not the turkey dinner, but because it was Thanksgiving, I just was like, all right, it's Thanksgiving, I'm going to get turkey. So
good. I'm glad someone got Thanksgiving dinner, and then I'm glad to hear that it was good, because when you mass produce turkey dinners, they're maybe not the best. So I was just curious how it was.
Yeah, and they had those in cocoa again, right?
Yeah,
so we ended up in cocoa 3 times, notwithstanding our little request.
No, you did not.
But the cocoa theming and all the things were shut down for Thanksgiving. It was just a place to have. I think the whole ship had the same menu for that night.
What's the chance that
right?
That's
she got over it by then, but I was like, oh.
All right, so that sounds like it was a pretty awesome Thanksgiving. And again, nobody had to do dishes, so it can't be beat. Okay, so Friday.
Friday's
the last days of the sailing. I'm like, how in the world is this possible?
Right. We went to breakfast at 19123 that morning and did the sit-down breakfast because we were waiting for the ship to dock.
How was that?
It was nice. It wasn't our serve staff, obviously, again, to get mixed into. We saw our people in there, but it was good food. It was similar to what they have at the buffet, only just kind of made fresh to order for you. And so we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Nice. I tried to do that one day and got there like 2 minutes too late, so didn't get to do it, which made me sad.
We did it for lunch one day too, and that was also really good.
Yeah, it's nice to mix it up,
Right. But that was our Castaway Key day. Really, really windy. Like I said, it was a little chilly. We did Pelican Plunge, which was very cold swimming out too.
It's always cold. It's even cold in the summer. I don't understand. It's always cold.
I know, because the other, like Tortola and St. John, the water was perfect temperature.
And just walk right
It was
out.
warm, and then it's not the same in Castaway Cay.
Like people were having their hats and stuff blown away. It was so windy. Like you were walking into the thing, your hats get blown off and chased down through.
Oh,
It was very windy.
yeah.
I mean, it was fine in a hammock.
With a sweatshirt and a towel across your legs.
Yeah, which is fine with me.
So
I was perfectly comfortable.
So did you do like I think there's a lot of fun things to do at Castaway. There's the bike path and the running path, and there's basketball, and there's a lot of fun things to do. Did you partake in any of that, or just ocean?
we did, like I said, the Pelican Plunge. We had lunch. The boys took off. They were playing volleyball and playing different things and breaking coconuts and all that kind of fun stuff on the island. We sat on the chairs. We did rent inner tubes, but we made it out about to the knees and realized this is too cold and came around and never went back out there. And then most of us just laying in the hammocks and laying in the chase loungers relaxing for the afternoon. So,
Nice.
It was really nice.
Yeah, that's a nice relaxing day.
but,
Well, I'm glad your ship made it though, because I was a little worried when
Yeah.
we weren't going to actually be able to dock.
It was, I mean, they ended up canceling some of the excursions. Not
Like,
that
almost
we
all
were,
of them.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't planning to do any of them, but
I feel like
banana boat and all that stuff was canceled. But we had done the banana boat on Tortola, so there was nothing that we had that was changed. But it was fine. Could have been a little sunnier, but that was fine.
Yeah, we had still a good time.
Yeah.
good. All right, so that was Friday. So now it's the saddest night ever.
Right?
Now you have to pack all your stuff up and put it outside of your door, for them to collect at what time? 10 p.m.
10:30. Yeah, I think it's 10:30.
And then make sure that you actually have clothes for the next day, have your toothbrush and toothpaste, all that important stuff. So, so how long were you at Castaway? Were you there for a while, or did you go
I
back?
think it was 4:45
Was it
all
aboard?
aboard. Yeah, because I think it was right around then when I was here.
Did you guys head back early?
Yeah, Alex.
What's that? We went back maybe a half hour, 45 minutes before that.
Okay.
And just kind of starting to organize a little bit to pack up.
We never make it that long at Castaway, just Tim Burns, but we're just not great beach people. So I never feel like we make it too long when we're there.
Gotcha.
Anyway, it's still fun. It's still a nice island.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So that last night, where was your dinner rotation that last night?
That was back at 1923.
Oh, good.
And we had went up to the Rose. That's the night we got our drinks at the Rose.
Jeff had a glitter drink, and we showed up to dinner, and his mouth was full of glitter.
It was the DVC special.
And Allie was like, "What did you eat?" And he's like, "What?" And his mouth is full of glitter.
That is so funny. Good job, Jeff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was a DVC special. I mean, it was a good drink, but it was. It didn't say that it came with glitter.
And then you get to the bottom, the whole thing is just like a cake layer of glitter.
What's in there?
That is so funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, you've got to sparkle on your
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
But the dinner that night was steak and lobster. So we had lobster tails and stuff for dinner.
And by lobster tails, Jeff means 3 for him.
I mean, again, you're getting more value out of your
Right?
of your cruise that way.
Right?
I
Very
totally-
happy.
I was. I was hurting, but I was happy. So, and then we did family karaoke that night.
Yeah.
So we had a interesting experience there. The teens kind of took over the karaoke lounge and were just enjoying themselves, having fun. They were clapping and cheering for people. And there was an older gentleman sitting down from us who was waiting for his song that was there at least 45 minutes because we were sitting there. And he climbed up on the stage, and the person keeps telling everybody to please use the ramp of safety instead of stepping over the edge of the stage. Make sure you use the ramp of safety on both sides. And he chose to climb over the top of the stage, gets up and says, "I was going to sing Elvis, but apparently you guys just think this is an extension of Vibe and don't have any respect for anybody. So I'm just not going to sing anything." He put the mic up and walked off. Did not use the ramp of safety, tripped over the edge, about bit it coming off the stage, which, if you're going to do something like that, your exit better be solid. And this was not. But
I was like, oh my God, did that guy just wait all this time
He
just to
waited-
get up there and yell at kids for not paying attention at karaoke?
on the last night of the ship, whenever they're just all having fun. So
everybody in there was, what just happened?
That
It was hilarious because we saw the amount of time that he was in there, and we were in there a long time, so it wasn't even like we just walked in and we're like, oh, what happened right before we got here? It must have been something. There was nothing.
No.
Everybody
and the kids are just kids. They're having fun. They're singing with everybody, and it's karaoke. It's what you do.
Yeah.
And
There was nothing that I could have pointed to him, but like, oh, he might have had a point there. No, it was all good. So that was funny though, because Jeff saw him the next morning at breakfast, and he goes, "Oh, can I say something?" Like, well done yelling at those kids. And I was like,
you guys really showed them how to handle karaoke, didn't you? That's my guy.
I was like,
how's Elvis treating you?
Right? I loved your rendition of Elvis. Make sure you use that ramp of safety next time.
oh my god, I was just like,
Oh gosh.
So we refer to him as the angry boomer from now on.
There's one at all places, no matter
Right.
what. Yeah. That's a shame though. But I guess
But they had like a final night with the characters and all, they kind of converge in the main hall, and one last opportunity for you to get your pictures and autographs, whatever you want with them. So
I think that's really clever that they do that. I don't remember them doing that on our first couple of sailings, and I feel like they've added that the last. Maybe they always have, but I don't remember that. I just think that's such a nice touch to do that and have them all out and about and
right.
get to see whoever you didn't get a chance to see. I think that's a great final goodbye.
Right, and it's very informal and impromptu, so if there's not really set lines or the cast members standing there cutting it off, they're just mingling, and you kind of just
Right. It's like the dance parties.
Yeah.
And what the Rapunzel and Flynn Rider were they were sitting there playing Duck Duck Goose with like some of the kids, and it was just fun. It was a very fun.
I think that's
close out the cruise.
Something else I forgot to ask you guys. Did you watch the Diaper Dash?
We did not. Alex did.
Okay.
That was our lazy pool day that we were just sitting, and it was like 11. It's like, do you really want to get dressed and go down there to watch that? And it just wasn't worth the.
I was like, I've seen it before.
Some of them are fun. Some of them are like,
We didn't have a disqualification. He said that one learned her first steps and how to run across the stage.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy how that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Every sailing.
But we told my mom, this was her first cruise, and we told my mom, I said, it's worth going and seeing it at least once because it's fun and it's funny to watch, and who knows what's going to happen. But they did this one in the main hall, which I thought I was expecting it to be up on the sports deck because that's what they did it on the fantasy, where they had, on the fantasy, they had it, with the big Jumbotron and people kind of calling it like they were professional athletes, and made it more amusing. But I guess this was just across the hall in the main or in the main hall. So I don't know if it made that much difference because we didn't go, but I expected it to be up in the sports deck.
So Kim, what was your mom's overall impression? This was her first Disney cruise. Like, what did she think?
She loved it. And I wasn't, with her, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go because I think she's heard us, for many years come back and say wonderful things about it and probably thinks we overhyped it. So I wasn't sure what she would think. Plus she's a smoker, and I wasn't sure how inconvenient that would be for her or how she would find that. So she absolutely loved it, every aspect of it, and had really nothing bad to say.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, and I think I think her expectations were set high based on our reviews, and I think she would say that they were exceeded. So
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. You never know with first time.
Yeah.
Are they gonna love it or hate it? So
yeah, and this was her first cruise overall too. So
oh wow,
yeah, so she had never been on a cruise before.
That's a lot of first.
Yeah, so it was good. I'm glad that she liked it.
I am too. That's awesome. So Jeff, it's been a while since you've been on a Disney Cruise Line. What do you think?
It was fantastic.
Meet
it
your
met all expectations. It did absolutely.
Do you see why Lonnie kind of like the product?
I do. Yes, never against a product. So just the wallet value was a little.
Listen, it's not cheap. I mean, I actually just talked somebody out of going on a Disney cruise because I was like, listen, the price for what it is and for your child the age they are, I would wait. I'm like, I just don't think at this stage it makes enough sense. I would wait till they're a little bit older because when they're little, they can't go in the pools unless they're potty trained and all that stuff. Like, and you're not going to be able to go do some of the events in the evening if they're in bed at still at 8 o'clock bedtime. So because it's expensive, Disney Cruise Line is not a cheap trip. So you gotta,
especially if you go during these like maritime vacation weeks, or I kept telling the kids, I actually at one point, because I was giving them a little bit of grief for the amount of things that they were having fun doing without us. I said, I want you to calculate the ROI for me of the cost of this trip, be the amount of hours that you've spent with me on this family vacation. So I was like, do you think from an executive standpoint, this would be a good return on investment for another?
I do find it though, that's part of the reason why I do like it, is because sometimes on family vacations, you're familying the whole entire time and you don't get like a break. In particular, when the kids were little, like when you go on a beach vacation, cook at the condo or whatever, we'd be with them. Like there really wasn't any adult time or break. We were just on the whole time. So I do think that's one of the benefits of going on Disney Cruise Line. Like if you want a little bit of a break, you can have a little bit of a break. You can go have an adult drink or go get a massage or whatever it may be. And you're not leaving them for hours on end, but you're, spending an hour or two to yourself. And, that's nice too. So
it was I 1,000% agree. I think the dynamic of them having this returning group of friends made it feel more like camp week to them as opposed to, family vacation. So I had to keep reminding them, like, hello,
mom's here. I want to see you. Yeah. So, are you thinking about sailing again?
I'm sure we are. We have a placeholder and set up for this time next year as well. It's the same trip, same cruise, same itinerary, probably the same stateroom.
No, I wanted to be back on the other side.
We're on the other side.
Yeah, this was my first time staying on the port side, and I don't know if it's just habit or what, but I like the starboard side better. So it doesn't it matters zero, but the fact that I kept turning the wrong way off the elevator, it's like, oh yeah, not this way.
I mean, listen, you like what you like. I get it.
Yeah. So that one is on the other. That is the difference. So, and the kids, like the last cruise we did, we stayed in 10626, and they liked having Stitch's room. So,
that's so funny. I never would have thought of that. That's so funny. So I also forgot to ask you, what was your favorite show out of all the shows that you saw?
We didn't go to the shows.
You didn't?
Well, we did that one.
We did the Seas one.
Yeah. But we didn't do Moana, and we didn't do
Aladdin. Or Beauty
no,
and the
it wasn't
Beast.
Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah.
We didn't do those.
Okay.
That was when we went to the bar. I had a cocktail instead. So
I'm dying to see the Moana show. I think it's going to be really cool.
It had rave reviews. We were like, you guys go, and we're going to go this way.
Yeah. So. That's, again, got to make some choices. There's too many things to do on the cruise ship, which you never think, like, seriously, on a 7-night ship, like sailing, there's going to be, nope, you can't do it all. Just can't.
You know what they didn't have on this, and I was expecting it to be, they didn't have that show, I forget what it's called on the Fantasy or others, but that like thing that pulls at your heartstrings where makes you, the theme of it is basically your kids grow up way too fast and you have to like take advantage of the time. I forget what it's called on the Fantasy, but I was fully expecting that to be on this ship too, and I was like, oh, we're going to have to suffer. So I like it, but it always makes me like want to hit the pause button with them growing up.
I don't know what that one is, and I'm glad that I don't, because I'd be a mess. So glad I never saw that one before. So
yeah, I can't remember what the name of it is, but I'm like,
I don't need that one. I don't need that one.
Yeah.
Any tips that you want to provide, especially with the treasure in particular, like things that you like, wow, this ship has this that you don't want to miss, or anything that you want to talk about that was just unique for that ship?
I wish we would have found the rose sooner. We enjoyed spending time in the Haunted Mansion bar.
Yeah, that was fun. Jeff ate an eyeball.
Yep.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion bar was really good. I am a big fan of that Deck 14 Chippendale pool. It's kind of peaceful. If you just need a break from the like main deck pool, it's really kind of lovely up there. It overlooks the front of the ship, and we were actually, and the pool is shallow, so it's just kind of one that you sit in. But the boat was rocking a little bit, and it was, to me, I found it a little bit cathartic just to have the water like moving the way that
Your feet just go from 10
yeah, you
to
just kind
2,
of like
10 to
slosh
2.
back and forth, and I loved it. So I would. A lot of people never explore enough to find that pool, so I would throw that out there as something worthwhile.
Awesome. Great. Well, do you want to real quick talk about your way home?
That was a fiasco. 16-hour drive over 2 days turned into like a 28-hour drive over 2 days. We stopped at Hilton Head Island at the Disney Resort for one night. Really nice there, but the rest of the trip of driving was a fiasco.
I mean, the bad part. I thought you were just going to talk about that you stopped at Hilton Head.
Yeah.
Because I've never
traffic for anybody thinking of doing that. Like I-95 and 77 were just very crowded and slow going.
Charlotte Airport.
Yeah.
So,
but Hilton Head DVC was awesome. That was my first time there.
Yeah, I've never been there either. I mean, I've been to Hilton Head a cajillion one times, but not the DVC.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it was really lovely.
It's got like a condensed Old Key West kind of vibe to it.
That's
where
really
you're just kind of you get the couple story buildings all the way around, but it's very small. So,
but we got up early in the morning because we had to leave to drive home. But we got up early in the morning and went to the beach side of it and watched the sunrise. And there was really nobody down on the beach, and parked right there at the DVC beach house, and it was awesome.
That's great. Well, thanks for sharing your trip, because now I can't wait to sail on the Treasure. I've got to hit all the ships, and I'm excited to explore it, because it's there's something unique and different about each ship. So, but I'm ready to figure this one out. So I'm excited for it. But before we go any further, we have to get to the most important part of the show, quacking up with the ducks. So, do you guys have any jokes for us this evening?
You want to go first? You want to
go first?
All right. So when we were down in the Caribbean, my favorite channel they have is the one that shows where all the Disney ships and stuff are. But I was flipping through the news the one day, and it said there was a red cruise ship and a blue cruise ship that ran into each other off the coast of one of their islands. All their people were marooned.
Shouldn't they be purple?
No, it's close enough.
All right. That was yeah. Okay. You ready, Kim?
I had to tap my kids for a joke, so this is not my forte. But
nor is it mine.
So they wanted to know how much it cost Santa to land his sleigh.
Say it again.
How much does it cost Santa to land his sleigh?
I don't know. How much?
Nothing. It's on the house.
Of course it is. All right. So this one is, I don't know. I struggled. What did Frosty's girlfriend give him when she got mad at him?
Oh, the cold shoulder.
You're right. The cold shoulder.
I was saying it was a cold stare, but
yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. If you like what you hear, which of course you do, please go out there on your podcatcher of choice and give us a 5-star review. I also was going to remind you to give us your Ask Us Anything, but by the time this show comes out, I think we will have already recorded that. So just forget all of that. Hopefully you asked us good questions and we really enjoyed asking them. But thanks, guys, for telling us about your trip on the Treasure. I know that it's something that a lot of people have been curious about, because even though it's been out there for a little while, not many of us have gotten to sail it yet. So thanks for telling us all about it. I appreciate it. All right, Jeff, you want to sign us out?
All right. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a good night. Kwaherini.
Bye, friends.
All right. That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.